What do you mean? When you nod your head yes, but you wanna say no. What do you mean? When you don't want me to move.
Mastercard, Visa, and PayPal have gone to war with the internet, specifically gamers. But on the other side of the planet, we have UK Parliament setting up a Goon police and YouTube giving its users a vibe check. Let's start with Australia, or better yet, an Australian anti-gooning lobbying group called Collective Shout. They began back in 2009 and their mission is to bring cultural and societal change through holding corpos, advertisers, marketers, and media accountable for the objectification of women and sexualization of girls. Now on paper they seem like a proper group if I say so myself. Well, Collective Shout posted an article on the 11th of July 2025 titled Open Letter to Payment Processors Profiting from Rape, Incest, plus Child Abuse Games on Steam. The letter specifically targets the CEOs of different payment processing companies to either change their ways or change their names. Well, who would have guessed it? It worked. A few days later, Steam cleaned the house, banning a bunch of adult games and added a new rule.
No. God damn it! God damn it! God damn it! God damn it! God damn it!
And then itch.io followed as well, but instead of bans, they de-index adult games, making it difficult to search or browse for them. And if you are a game developer of one, let's just say developing adult games as of this moment just got harder. But as of making this video, they have re-indexed or gave the option to re-index some of the adult games for the developers making them, and currently the people from itch.io are trying to find alternative payment partners.
Wait a minute.
Now hold on a second, okay? How would we even know that Collective Shout had any part of this? Well, it's on their website. They parade every win they get. It doesn't matter if they're wrong. What matters is that they think they are right. In the grand scheme of things, banning Gooner games is not the end of the world, but it does start a bad precedent on what's to come.
My is in your baboon. You filthy fucking next I'll do.
Now I'm starting to feel like Mr. Worldwide because now we head to good old UK, okay? The colonizers of the world now colonizing the internet. The Online Safety Act of 2023 is a new set of laws that protects children and adults online. It puts a range of new duties on social media companies and search services, making them more responsible for their users' safety on their platforms. So, in a nutshell, you will need to provide a government ID or credit card or anything to prove that you are of legal age to goon or access the internet or, the internet's explicit content. This, of course, will be implemented by the Office of Communication or Ofcom. But is it really for the children, I wonder?
Online safety bill. If it's just about children, is it just about children, or does it focus
do you
on
think
adults?
that should be an elite squad?
Barry, does it just
To
focus?
protect
It's not.
13-year-old
I'm sorry.
girls?
The elite squad is not about children. Actually, shall I read you the thing? An elite squad of police officers is to monitor social media for anti-migrant sentiment. I don't think 13-year-olds are engaging that. So, is it also to monitor adults? Simple question. Yes or no?
Yes, of course it will.
Okay. There we go. Look, sorry.
Now let's go back home to YouTube where they're doing similar things for the good cause of protecting children. They now have a spiffy AI to guess your age. The AI deems that you might be underage to be surfing YouTube. You'll need to verify. And I mean by submitting a government ID, a selfie, or your credit card. Would you be willing to? Well, you have to if you want to continue watching your daily schlop content. And concluded its investigation after Visa agreed to make unspecified reforms to its practices Exact details of the proposed changes have not been released, and the regulator deemed Visa's commitments sufficient enough to close the case. Now, everyone expected this. I expected this, since Visa is not a small company, ladies and gents. They're big enough to throw down with anybody, and fighting against such a behemoth would take a lot more effort. Now, moving on to Zenko Kurishita, a Japanese free speech activist and politician who not only is anti-censorship but has shown a light regarding collective shout. Now, don't mind my co-host by the side staring at you with his blue anime eyes. What I'm trying to say is that Japan is aware of the situation happening with the mass censorship by these payment processors. And of course, who could forget the one who wanted all of this to happen? Collective shout. Now, Collective Shout did one of the most boldest thing anyone could do in this situation.
Riding round in a rover. If I see ops and it's over, I'll send man straight to Jehovah when I take shots like M. Sharapova.
Now let's go back to UK Parliament's Online Safety Act. The citizens have done a petition to repeal the Online Safety Act, garnering 5 times the required amount, which tallies upward to 500,000 signatures. Now, as we can all see, it says right here that Parliament will consider this for a debate, meaning a master debater will discuss this in front of Parliament with all the voted politicians in attendance.
嘘なんですけどね。
Now, the government dig deep, doubled down, and gave 2 responses. One was short for propaganda, and the other was a lengthy no. The short answer is that the government is working with Ofcom to ensure that online in-scope services are subject to robust but a proportionate regulation through the effective implementation of the Online Safety Act 2023. Now let's look at the lengthy answer, okay? So first off, I would like to thank all those who signed the petition. It's right that the regulatory regime for in-scope online services takes a proportionate approach, alright? Okay? Balancing the protection of users from online harm with the ability for low-risk services to operate effectively and provide benefits to users. Now, the government has no plans. Let me repeat that. The government has no plans to repeal the Online Safety Act and is actively or working closely with Ofcom to implement the act as quickly and effectively as possible to enable UK users to benefit from its protections. So in summary, the people were given the chance to hear a big, juicy no.
No.
The internet has started to set aside their differences and make out. To blow up not only Visa and Mastercard's customer service lines. Did it work?
Yeah.
Is this Mastercard? Because I got a beef with you, you know? You're censoring all my fucking games and I don't like it, okay? Get your back the fuck off. Because honestly speaking, this stuff is getting way out of hand.
Who the fuck is this?
Political, you know? Like,
Wrong number, pal.
Era of censorship. Whether it's the new age verification system that has gone into effect in the UK, or the looming ban on VPNs that also is existing in the UK, or the fact that similar bills are being introduced to the United States, or the fact that thousands of games have been banned across multiple platforms, it really feels like censorship is ramping up at an alarming rate. Now, when anyone says, woke is dead or censorship is dead, they're not seeing the full picture. This stuff is still alive as ever.
Internet censorship and the strategy to directly pressure payment processors. We've had a number of testimonials recently where people are talking about their experience calling these payment processors and how the company representatives seem to be getting annoyed and or upset, saying that they're getting a bunch of calls like this. And the ultimate point here is that it does seem to be working based off these testimonials, but now we have more information because Mastercard themselves have actually issued a response this morning, just about an hour ago. Pirate Nation summarizing their response here, and we'll read the full thing for ourselves too, although it's not a very long statement anyways, but we'll get to that in a second.
Basically, President Trump has signed an executive order, and he did this like yesterday, to where banks and payment processors can no longer block legal content from being purchased. For instance, like what Steam does, what itch.io does, if you want to buy an anime, manga, whatever, Visa and Mastercard and other payment processors and banks, for instance, are not allowed to block things all in the name of brand protection. And if you don't believe me,
for the time being, we have Donald Trump's executive order, which I would say is the biggest win we currently have. Because now I have terrible news, or maybe funny news. Either way, Mastercard contacted Riot Games and they asked Riot to keep an eye out on any negative sentiments on Mastercard. Once again, another pathetic L for Mastercard. More horrible news is that PayPal pulled out of Steam, and this is due to content concerns. But we all know why this is happening. They could have blacklisted Steam a long time ago. It's not like Steam just added adult games recently. PayPal decided to pull out now because of censorship and all for the reason of protecting kids? I highly doubt it. When they censored adult games, I asked myself, what makes a game for adults? A game can have or show guns, gore, blood, mature content, sex, nudity, war, depression, kidnapping, body horror, non-consensual things, racism, hate, and many more topics that I'd argue are for adults. What about Roblox? It has kids playing in it while mingling with pedos, and yet I don't hear Mastercard complaining. What's next in the agenda, huh? Banning books?